Hello and welcome to Nashville SC UK. I'm Gareth, and this is the first video of the new MLS season. Today we're going to be talking about the home opener, which was the Back in Black match, where they debuted this absolute beauty. We'll be talking about this today as well, along with some of the other kits in the new MLS season. We're also going to be talking about the latest away day to New York Red Bulls at Red Bull Arena, and my predictions for the season going forward. So, if you're into Nashville and you're into MLS, you're in the right place. That's what we talk about, it's what we do. So, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below. But anyway, let's get on with the video. So, before we talk about the matches, I wanted to say a little bit about the kits this year, because I have to give a big round of applause to Adidas for being creative this year. It's a big step up from all the white kits of the last load of years. I'm really glad to see that they've been a lot more creative with the kits this year, and they all have some sort of originality about them almost. I like that some of them have went back to their sort of roots, and I just love that all of them have something unique about them, really. Maybe not San Jose's, which is like a copy of Real Madrid's third kit. That's a little bit disappointing because it looks nice, to be fair, but you want them to be original. So I feel sorry for them on that, but it's a nice enough kit. Um, I want to talk about Chicago Fire's kit because I think it's awesome. I love that it has the badge in the middle. That's one of my favorite things in a football kit. I love it when they can pull off the badge in the middle. Um, but my favorite kit this year has to be this one. It's a Johnny Cash inspired kit. It's a tribute to the man himself, the Man in Black, and that's what this top is called. It's called the Man in Black kit, and it's beautiful. If you haven't seen this kit in person yet, trust me, it's so much nicer in person. If you've seen the pictures and you think that it's quite nice, wait till you see it in person. It's beautiful. A few of the little details like the badge, uh, the way that it sort of shines when the sun hits it, and depending on what way you're standing, is really cool. Same with the little Adidas logo. It also has Johnny Cash's signature on the back, which is awesome, and it has a little picture of him just down here as well, if you can see. All round, it's just a really cool kit. Like, never did I ever think that one day I would own a football top that is a tribute to Johnny Cash, and here I am standing in it right now. It's gorgeous. But anyway, let's move on to the real stuff. So, Nashville have the honour of kicking off the 2023 MLS season, and they did it in style. 2-0 victory over New York City at home, Jadis Park, and what a convincing 2-0 victory it was. We started on the front foot and we finished on the front foot. Walker Zimmerman with the first goal runs to the corner flag and sings Ring of Fire. It was like something out of a movie. And then in the second half, Schaffelberg gets the second goal. Instant impact from Mukhtar, who came off the bench for this match. That's something that we don't usually see, and we usually don't see goals without Mukhtar. We did that, and then he provided the second. All round, I think the atmosphere after the match was one of pure joy and excitement, and everyone was excited going forward because although it was only one match, we played our socks off and we looked hungry for something. We look hungry this season and we look like we want to push forward and win some silverware. So let's break the match down. Game kicks off, Nashville straight at it, chasing the ball down. They're everywhere. They're pests on and off the ball. New York City didn't know what to do. They didn't really ever answer any of the questions that were asked of them. Maybe in the second half, but from the get-go, Nashville were all over the place in a good way. They were all over the ball. When they were off the ball, they were all over the other players. And it was like, the only way I can describe it is if you've ever seen Liverpool play over the last 5 to 6 years, that's the style that Nashville went for. They were really just everywhere. They were all over the New York City team when they had the ball, and they didn't know how to cope with that, which was just amazing to see. We then pushed on to get the first goal of 2023 through Walker Zimmerman. It was a good goal. A bit of it looked scrappy. I actually thought it was Godoy who got the goal, but it stood for Walker Zimmerman, who runs to the flag, sings Ring of Fire. I'm laughing. I'm jumping around the house like a crazy man, waking the kids up upstairs. Sorry, by the way, kids, if you're watching this. Um, but the joy in everyone in Nashville when that went in, it was like a relief, because so many times in the past have we played really, really well and maybe not got the goal, which we'll talk about later. But great start to the season. We go in halftime feeling really positive. I was feeling very positive. We come out second half and we looked a little bit tired, a little bit shaken, like we're not going to be able to keep this kind of tempo up for the whole of the match. But then after about 10 minutes, we were back on it again. We looked really, really good. And when Mukhtar came on, oh, it's so obvious. It's so obvious when he comes on what we've been missing. Even when we're playing that well, we missed him, because as soon as he came on, he makes the impact, almost immediately gets the assist for Schaffelberg, who, by the way, had such a great game. Such a great game. That boy looks incredible. He's kissing the badge, giving it everything. We love him. There's no negatives really to take out of this match apart from that little bit in the second half where we looked a little bit sluggish. That's it. But it was the first match of the season, so you expect a few tired legs here and there, which we got. A few injuries, notably Godoy got injured, but he soldiered on. He soldiered on with like a dislocated shoulder, I think it was. So fair play to him. He did really well. He was one of the standout players for me throughout the match. My man of the match was Schaffelberg. I think he was incredible. I think Fafa Picault looked really, really good in his first match, and there's a lot of positive signs to take going in to the rest of the season. But with that said, as we move on to our first away day of the season against New York Red Bulls at Red Bull Arena, things looked quite a bit different, and a lot of my positive energy kind of got sucked out. So let's talk about our first away day. So after such a positive start to the season, we then go into match day 2, our first away day of the year against the New York Red Bulls, and a lot of that positivity kind of got thrown out the window. It was a nil each draw, so it was probably what you expected going into this match based on the history between the two teams. Not that they've played each other much, but it's never an exciting affair, really. We should have played a lot more positively coming off the match our first match of the season. We looked so good, so good. So to come into this match and play the way we did was a little bit strange. We have to touch on the injury. So Godoy was out, Leal was out, Mukhtar didn't start. So I suppose you could say we didn't have our strongest team, and we didn't. But we still should have played a lot better based on the first match. Schaffelberg played amazing in the first half. He was the standout player for me. Him and Joe Willis. Joe Willis, so far this season, so far for Nashville, has been one of the most consistent players that we have. But Schaffelberg played just as good as he did in the first match. He looked so sharp, and he looks like such a goal-scoring threat, really. He was one of the only players who was willing to make those runs and just keep going and trying to push for a goal. And as the first half got further and further in, the better he got. You know, he sort of suited the game a lot better. He fitted into the game a lot better as the first half went on. And then Gary Smith took him off for half-time. I do not know what was going on, what happened in the dressing room, whether there was an injury, whether it was something that Schaffelberg said, like, listen, I can't go on. I don't know. I hope that it was something like that, and it was maybe just sort of to keep him safe, because if it was a tactical decision, then it was probably one of the worst tactical decisions I've seen made by Gary Smith since he came in. I said last week, straight away after the first match, that I'm a Gary Smith fan. I'm glad he signed the contract. That hasn't changed. I still love him. I still want him to be the man to take us forward. I still think he is the man to bring us some silverware and to take the team to new heights. I really do. I have a lot of time and faith in him. But every now and again, he makes these little weird decisions. And that was such a strange decision last night that I seen. And I kind of, it was one of those moments where everything goes through your head. You're starting to think, is he injured? The worry kicked in. It's like, please don't be injured. Please not him. And the other part of it that confused me the most was last week when Mukhtar came on. It was him and Schaffelberg who linked up to get the second goal. Mukhtar with the assist, Schaffelberg with the goal. And I thought when Mukhtar was coming on that it was probably going to be for Fafa Biko, because as well as he played in the first match, he just wasn't on it against the Red Bulls. It wasn't that he played bad, it was just he didn't look sharp enough. His decision making wasn't great, and I feel like he tried to take a few shots in the first half that just were never going to, it was never going to be pulled off. So I thought that he was going to be the one that came off. But no, it was Schaffelberg who was the best player on the field in the first half. And like I say, when them two players linked up last week, I thought it would make so much more sense to have them link up again this week. And that whole premise was removed for the second half because they brought Mukhtar on and took him off. It doesn't make sense to me. It never will make sense to me. Gary Smith himself could try and make me understand that one, but I don't think I ever will understand it fully because it's such a strange decision. One decision that I do like and that I loved last night was bringing Brian Anunga on, because I love him so much. I think he's a great player. I think he's criminally underrated in the MLS. I don't understand why he's so underrated. I think that if you're to watch the man play, like even last night, he came on and I believe made a big impact, made a very positive impact on the team. And whether you were at Red Bull Arena or watching on Apple TV, you've probably noticed him shouting at the team and pushing them down the field. He's known more for his defensive work, and he was trying to get that team going. He was trying to push everyone forward, trying to get things moving forward. And I thought he was one of the more positive players last night, especially in the second half when we didn't have Schaffelberg for some reason on the field, who would have been a game changer for me with Mukhtar. Them two are going to be so good together this season if they're given the chance. I think that they're going to be one of the best sort of link-up players this year if they're given the chance on the field, unlike last night. So, yes, a lot more negatives to take out of this game. I think their defence looked a little bit shaky at times as well. Zimmerman is usually really solid. That's why he's at World Cups. That's why he's the captain at the moment, even when Dax is on the field. Because he gets the first goal of the season. He's that guy who steps up when we need him. He looked a little bit shaky last night. He had good moments, but he also had those real shaky moments. And I think that trickled through to Jack Mayer, who again looks good with Zimmerman at the back. I actually really like them together, but he looked a little bit shaky in moments as well. So for me, the standout players, Joe Willis, who got my man of the match, he was fantastic. Joe says no. We've all seen the meme, and last night he was so on point. He was there when we needed him again, and he's one of the reasons why we come away with the point. The main reason why we come away with the point is Joe Willis. I think that Shaq Moore had a really good game. I think Anunga had a really good game. I think that Mukhtar had a really good game. That pass to Mule that ended up offside, even though he put it in the back of the net, it was offside. Rightfully so. It was the right call. It was totally offside, but that felt like one of those moments. Again, the first thing I thought was, if Schaffelberg was on the field, I feel like we get something there. I think that we're coming away with all 3 points. So it's hard to take, really, because if you look at the stats, I think it slightly favours the Red Bulls, but because we scored that goal that was just offside, honestly, if Schaffelberg's on the field, I think we come away with 3 points. And what ifs don't mean anything in football, but I do think that if he's on the field, it's a completely different result. And it's disappointing coming out with only the 1 point, because I feel like we're that team now where a point isn't enough. I feel like we're hungry to keep winning, to go on a streak of winning, not just unbeaten form, but like winning. Um, Clean sheets are brilliant. Don't get me wrong. Like we've all seen the Gary Smith meme, clean sheets, but it's only good for me now if we're getting the 3 points with it. It's hard to say that I am disappointed to come away with a clean sheet and a draw against Red Bulls at their home, but that's where we are now as Nashville fans. I think we expect more now, um, and I think after match day one and seeing how hungry the team looked, I was expecting that going into the second match, and it just wasn't there. It was like we dropped off, and the excitement and the emotions of being back kind of fell away almost. And I hope that going forward that's not the case. I hope that we keep that energy from the first game, especially at home. Home form is going to be so important for us. It always is in the MLS. But that's my takeaway from match day two. Not a lot of positives to take from it. Apart, we didn't lose all 3 points. We still take a point. Ryan Anunga looked good. Joe Willis is still Joe Willis. Shaq Moore, absolutely fantastic player. Schaffelberg, given the chance, that and hopefully isn't going to start taking him off at halftime every game, is so good. Mukhtar and him, again, I'll say it again, are going to link up so well this season if they can stay on the field at the same time. Having Mukhtar start next match, I think he will be so important for us, by the way. Absolutely vital that he starts a match and gets that creative juice flowing through the team, and hopefully get a couple of goals in the first half to take us through and make us feel a bit more at ease going into a second half. But yes, that's my take on the second match. First game, super positive, a lot to look forward to, and then straight away we're kind of let's be a little bit more positive than this. So hopefully in match day 3 we can go into the game feeling a lot more confident and play the way we played in the first match, because it was electric, and that's what we need. That's what we need all season long. So Gary, if you're watching this, which you're not, I love you, but please keep Schaffelberg on the field. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and watching, guys. Like I say, if you're in the MLS and you're a Nashville fan, then stay here, because we have plenty more content to come throughout the year now that Apple TV is on UK screens and I can be more consistent with the content. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Love you.